Welcome to the Power of Music podcast, brought to you by JM International. Get ready to explore conversations with those making a difference through music.
Hello, and welcome to the Power of Music podcast, brought to you by JMI, Jeunesse Musicale International, the global network of NGOs that empowers young people through music across all boundaries. In this episode, we talk about how to lose and rediscover your love for music, creative ways of being forced to learn a new instrument, and how to channel your inner nerd into music. We learn about the genetical translation of music over generations and the beauty of traditional music. We discuss the magic of Ethno and, of course, the power of music. My name is Ricardo, and today I'm joined by Lamija Sarić. She's a student of genetics and bioengineering, youth music project coordinator, music researcher, and the chair of the Ethno committee. Ethno is JMI's program for intercultural learning through peer education in folk, traditional, and world music. As always, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and rate the podcast. We hope you enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for joining us today at the podcast. First, what has been your journey into music?
It all started with classical music, actually. So I don't know why, but my parents kind of wanted me to get into music school. I was super not talented at it, and my singing was awful, so I almost failed the entrance exam. But they put me on piano by some magical chance. And then I was kind of getting into classical music and the theory of music, and it was super interesting for me to see because I'm a nerd. Sorry. But for me, what was most important about music and actually going to music school was this music theory and this mystery that how are these pieces actually made? What is happening there? And the mathematical relations between the notes and everything. And I'm saying this as a perspective of an 8-year-old. So imagine the amount of bullying that I got. But it was fun. And for me, it was never... I started getting into competitions for classical piano, and the repetition of the pieces, studying them so prolifically, and it was too much for me. And at one point I sort of blocked out, especially during one of these competitions where I literally forgot how to play. And then I realized that for me, classical music just makes a lot of stress, a lot of mental stress. But this was as a kid, I mean, today I'm in love with classical music as well. But what I needed, and I didn't know then, was actually community. A community is somebody to share the music with. And I stopped classical music and actually wanted to be a professional tennis player then. And then I injured my knees. And my dad was having an old guitar in his closet, which he never learned to play. So I just took the guitar and started to, again, back to this mathematics, try to make a logical assessment of the tones on the guitar, and started to learn it completely wrong. But then I joined this amazing orchestra in Tuzla. Yeah, I'm from Tuzla. Tuzla is the best place in the world. Everybody visit Tuzla. Tuzla is in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And there in this little corner of the world, just close to the center, but in a little forest, there's a social center which is called Kuća Plamena Mira, which is translated the Peace Flame House. It was built after the war, so the young community of Tuzla can get somewhere free space to do arts. So they do. They have a young community which tries to describe astrology and astronomy, and they are having these telescopes, and another community which is doing just visual arts, and we are doing music there in Association Acousticum, which is actually the part of GMI, which is GM Bosnia and Herzegovina. Sorry, I always forget Herzegovina. Sorry, my southern friends. So in any case, I started playing there, and I came with the knowledge of one chord on the guitar, and everybody else was playing so good. And they were playing traditional music, and we were learning together. And for me, this was the first time where I was doing music, and nobody kind of knew what they were doing, but they were just having fun. And for me, this was a completely new approach to music. And this whole energy of this orchestra is actually ethno energy. So everybody is teaching each other. And one guy, at that point a stranger, but today my best friend Denis, came to me and said, "Yo, you have no idea what you're doing. Can I help you?" And then I said, "Yes, please." And he showed me another chord and then another. And these last, let's say, 8 years have been just him showing me chords and me telling him stupid jokes. And now actually we share chords together. So it's been a nice journey. And we started to travel with the orchestra. And at one point, everybody was playing guitar better than me. And just at the moment when I figured out that I'm playing guitar well, we were going on this exchange to France. And our boss, who is, again, he hates when I mention him on any sort of podcast or TV program, but he's the best guy in the world. He has changed the life of so many young people in Tuzla, both globally, and he's a professor of guitar, and I think every day he gets up with a better and better idea on how to share music with the world. And so his name is Nedim Tijinic, and he did the most incredible thing. At that point, the most terrible thing is that he didn't pack my guitar for the exchange, for the tour. And we opened the suitcase when we were in France, and there was like 2 guitars, one for Dennis, one for another guy, and a clarinet. And I called the professor, the boss, and I told him, "Dude, there's 2 guitars and a clarinet. Like, what?" And he said, "Yeah, learn clarinet." And I was like, "But I don't know." He said, "Yeah, you'll know." So the whole exchange, the whole musical process was just full of me beeping on the clarinet, trying to get in. But actually, it was like, now when I look back, one of the best decisions he could have done at that point, because I would have never learned it. And today I play clarinet mostly, and I have gotten back to the beauty of the piano and classical music and jazz and everything. And I really think music should stop being so full of genres and so full of definitions about what is which style and who is playing what, but actually to free it up, because it's all music.
Do you think he did it on purpose, the clarinet?
Yeah. Definitely. He does this sort of things. Yeah, and now Dennis also plays the trumpet. Same reason, because one time he just put in a trumpet for Dennis and not the guitar, and this is what he does, and it's amazing. And
this initial feeling that you described might be familiar to some of the listeners, where you are so drilled in a certain instrument or you lose that passion. And you said what you needed was a community. But of course, you only knew that in hindsight.
Yeah.
What made you decide to keep trying and go for it?
That's a really good question. I have actually never sort of thought of that. I just realized after this tennis injury that I sort of need an outlet, because usually I have too much energy. I don't know, this is maybe not the most inspirational answer, but I just had too much energy and I wanted to use it somewhere in a productive way. But through the years, actually in Corona, and maybe this is a much better answer for the rest of my life. In Corona, I have, these podcasts and Zoom meetings that were happening then, and everybody, and I again, back to the nerd stuff. I was trying to find the best Zoom meeting so I can learn as much as possible. And there was this one meeting with like stoicism and philosophy. And the woman asked at the end of the meeting, I will now, it was super funny because at that point I was studying genetics and bioengineering. I mean, I still am, but I think I changed my perspective on it. So the woman asked, if you can go to a desert island with just one person, the person doesn't matter. So it's a random person, whoever, and this person will be super mentally equipped for any sort of topic you choose. And then your task is to choose only one topic in 3 seconds about which you can talk your whole life with this person.
It's not easy for a nerd.
Exactly. But for me, this was like I was just sitting. I remember this perfectly because this moment really changed my life, and I remember it perfectly. I was like, of course, music, and for me, the answer was so obvious, music. And then I was looking at my life, and I shouldn't swear here, right? No, but I was like, what the fuck, Lamija? Your answer is music, and now you think about it, and it's definitely music, what you want to talk about, what you want to think about. But then I looked at my life, and I was doing this research on bacteria and like trying to get the chaos theory of quantum physics and everything. And it's all great, it's all interesting, but it doesn't align with your with your inside, with what you actually feel. And at that point, I changed my life and I got into the music academy. And right now I'm studying ethnomusicology, but we'll probably change this to some jazz stuff. Everybody goes into jazz. Skibbity bop. Right now I'm also doing research in the genetics of music and how does music actually translate through DNA. This is a biology joke. The biology people will love it. You will get new audiences. So in any case, how does it transport itself through generations? And it's super interesting to see how if your grandfather played the guitar good and then your dad and then you, there's specific set of genes which do transcribe all of these experiences that they had with music. And it's very interesting. And it's just like brand new research, which is coming out, and how does the neurobiology actually change our point of view in music, and how music can actually change our genes, and how we can be healthier with music, more happy with music. And it's not, people say, oh yeah, music is so healthy for you, and they don't have the answer why, but actually I'm trying to find the answer why. And it's super, it is super interesting, first of all, and second of all, super true, because music changes everything.
Okay, now I'm very curious. Nerd awakens.
Okay.
What do you mean that music codes epigenetically?
Yeah. So basically, like, let's say this podcast is going to become a
Epigenetics 101.
yeah, and getting me canceled in science. What the theories are is that music can change genes, even though we are definitely sure that it can change genes in the early phases of development, like when you're in your mother's womb and you are listening to a specific sort of music, and your mother is also doing that. And when you're younger, there's super interesting things with absolute pitch, because there are several different types of it. And then also this crazy thing of losing the absolute pitch in the middle of your life and how to cope with that. Basically, genes, but this is not super confirmed. So let's say this with a little bit of distance. But I'm pretty sure that they're going to find evidence for this, because with these new technologies, we can get more into the DNA databases and the coding itself. But when you're listening to music and when you're playing music, your genes, there's a way that they can change. And some of them do, some of them don't. Right now, we are not really sure how, when, and what, but we are sure that they do. So, but science is a path that is not really enough for one lifetime.
So maybe the next generation will find out more.
No, I'm thinking more about like cloning myself later on.
Talk more about your orchestra.
Yes, my orchestra is the best orchestra ever. So basically, it's called Balsika, and it started 12 years ago in Tuzla. It started in Tuzla, but the story is far away from Tuzla. The story started in Strasbourg, where Jean-Claude Shoshkan and his partner for life, Peret Torison, met with my boss. I call him my boss, but he hates it. So he's like my half dad, half, brother, everything. And this Nedim guy, and Nedim and they met and they talked about traditional music and how it's important in the Balkans, in the world, and what to do with it. And they discovered that if the new generations are not playing traditional music, then it's just gonna disappear. And there's so much beauty in traditional music, so they decided to create two orchestras, one in Strasbourg, one in Tuzla, and through Erasmus grants to kind of try to join them in the year as much as possible. So it started just like as a musician exchange. And they were meeting each other 3 times a year, and they would play traditional music from all over the world. And at one point, the orchestras were so good and they were having so much fun that they decided to make this weekly rehearsals. So decided on a time frame at Saturday at 5, is it p.m., in the evening?
Let's hope p.m.
Yeah, at 5 p.m.
Knowing you, p.m.
Yeah. So at 5 p.m., both in Strasbourg and in Tuzla, let's say in 2013, you could start hearing, they could never hear each other, but you could definitely feel this vibe of beautiful music, traditional music played. And so this orchestra was called at that point Papyrosen, now it's called Ballad. And Papyrosen is actually an old Jewish tune made in Yiddish language, and it's an amazing tune. It talks about a little boy who was selling matches and was selling these papyrosen, is actually the paper for the cigarette. And he was selling these, and his father died, his mother died, and he only was taking care of his sister, just saying, just buy, please, these papers from me. They're getting wet from the rain, and my sister will not have anything to eat. And it's such an incredible song, and it sends such an incredible message. And they called that orchestra like that. And the orchestra in Tuzla is called Balsika, which is Balkan Alsace Orchestra. Alsace is this part of France. And we had only 7 musicians at the start, and more people joined. So as more people joined, they had more fun. As we had more fun, more and more people joined again. And this sort of transition into being a little ensemble to an orchestra was happening from 2013 to 2018, something like this. And then we were quite big. But another problem arose, which is this generational exchange. So all of these people, which, for example, Denis and I looked up to, who were teaching us incredible music, they were starting to go to university or to get married or to have kids or to move to another country. And the orchestra started to fall apart. And then Corona hit. And after Corona, we were again only 7. And we made a little ensemble of these 7 people, and it was very nice. And we were doing good work, let's say ethnomusicologically, and we were called Alteratio Ensemble, but we were still Balsika. And we decided that this cannot go on. We need new people, new kids, new generations, and we started to make Ethno Kids. So we started to do Ethno Kids, apart from our official Ethno of Ethno Bosnia, which we do at the same place. But these kids started just to apply, and more and more kids applied. And I thought that there were going to be 10 kids who applied. At the end, we were 50. And then most of them stayed. at the orchestra and started going to rehearsals. I mean, at that point, the orchestra, I mean, after Corona, it was like 7 of us, and then more and more joined, and the Ethno Kids was a big boom. And then let's say the orchestra was around 35, and in these last 6, so it's all brand new. I mean, the orchestra is old, but this brand new bomb of little kids is amazing. And they started to just call their friends. And right now we are like 55, and they are having just so much fun. And this is the vibe that I really want to get for them to learn, music, for them to fall in love into traditional music and to learn like this is really important for us. I mean, we never say to the kids, you have to learn language, like, I don't know, Spanish traditional song, and then you have to learn Spanish to sing it. But in some sort of way, when they try to sing the songs and everything, they learn a few words and more and more and more. And right now, I'm so happy for them because on any exchange that we send them, they know their way around the language. So it's super nice. And they are just, they are little kids who play metal and make little bands from the orchestra and play rock songs and play their own songs. And then they come Saturday and are in love with traditional music. For me, that's a big achievement, and I'm super happy about it.
What's the age group of the Ethno Kids?
Yeah, the age group is like the youngest one was 6, and he was just super funny. And then let's say more and more of them come from the age range from 10 to 18, and then a few of them were a bit older. I mean, these older ones were mentors, sort of. And then right now at the orchestra, it's the youngest is 9, and then the oldest is, I guess, Vedran. Vedran is old. So Vedran is my colleague, and he's actually here with us. I mean, not here, maybe he's a ghost, so he's here. But I just want to make a little joke about Vedran, that he is old, and that's it. It's not a funny joke. I just want to bother him. Is that okay? Yes.
Yes. So you can send the episode to him.
Yeah,
so we have at least one extra listener.
Exactly. And he has to listen to me talk for 21 minutes before this joke.
Yeah, exactly. Don't say when, it's just say it somewhere.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Good.
Let's talk about the Ethno magic.
Yes.
Because you are Ethno chair. Maybe you can say a bit about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, for me, what I see very interesting right now is that I'm the Ethno chair sitting in the chair. So I'm confused whether the chair is me or I'm the chair. Sorry, everybody. I'm super sorry about my bad jokes. I promised I will not do many. Let's talk about Ethno.
This is not true. She said she would do whenever she felt one was coming. And you can't stop it anyways. It's just here.
That is true. Sorry. Ethno is an amazing program which started around 40. No, we had the 30-year anniversary like 5 years ago. So let's say around 35-year-old program which started in Sweden, in an amazing place there, and they really wanted just to share traditional music. At that point, they had a lot of these ethnomusicology departments, had a lot of good players, but they wanted to connect. And it started in Sweden. Magnus Bäckström, I hope I say his name right. He's the one who started it. And then it just grew to Estonia and to the countries of Europe. And in the last couple of years, it was from 10 ethnos and then to like 23. And right now we are more than 40 ethnos from all continents in the world. And the project is that everybody does at least one ethno per year. And ethno is a music gathering. It's considered a music gathering, but it's more a social gathering, a community gathering. And we learn mostly about the culture through music and about people, the relations between people, and these, very interesting dynamics that come with ethno, because ethno is a program where we don't use notes, and where we teach this traditional music with a lot of stories behind it. And Damir Imamovic, an amazing singer from Bosnia, has an incredible tune that he wrote for another singer, which says, I don't see songs anymore. I just see faces. And what this means, this is such an ethno sentence, what this means is that, like, and I have this, whenever I close my eyes and we sing some songs, I just remember the person who taught me the song. And what happens at Ethnos is that everybody teaches a song from their own country, and it's an incredible experience. Everybody should come to Ethno. It's an incredible experience because you sort of remember every detail about this moment when this person is teaching you this song, and it just stays in your heart so much. And right now we are here for the Ethno Committee, and the Ethno Committee is, as Ethno is a program of GMI. The Ethno Committee is a place for all the ethno organizers and or ethno representatives to meet at one place and to talk about where the ethno program should be going. So all of these expansions and all of these like grants that we have been getting, and all of these ideas on what to do, who to train, how to train them, and how to get people everywhere, how to connect the world. It all comes from all of these wonderful members of the Ethno Committee. So I know my definition of the EC chair, like Ethno Committee chair, it's just a facilitator that the people sort of stick to the mindset of let's think about ethno. And let's not think about ourselves. And for me, that's the most important. Just to think about this amazing program that we have, this inspiration that we are for the young people, and to be inspired by each other and to learn from each other, because there are so many incredible people I really want to mention, because she's my biggest inspiration. And it's this ethno organizer from Estonia, Margit. And she does this ethno. Everybody should visit Estonia, and we should all move there and just play music all the time, because she made this incredible ecosystem with little ethno orchestras and ethno artistic mentor trainings and big ethno, winter ethno, summer ethno, kids ethno teenagers. I don't know if she sleeps. I'm really not sure of that. But she does incredible stuff. So she's also in the Ethno Committee. So every time she opens her mouth, I just like stop breathing and really want to hear what she is saying. And my other chair, because we are a lot, we are 40, so we have another chair. Soon we are thinking of getting a table. So the other chair is this guy, amazing guy from Sweden, Erik Rask, which organizes Ethno Sweden. But again, we are not important. Like, these names are not important. Ethno is important. And I'm just so happy to see ethno expand so much, and the beauty of traditional music and community music being heard and seen and just shared.
What are you most excited about for the coming year in terms of ethno?
So I'm most excited about our kids' ethno again, because it's going to come before our big ethno camp. And then at the big ethno camp, we already have like 65 international participants. It's going to be crazy, because we were going to have 20 more participants. To be, dear listeners, to be totally frank with you, although my name is not Frank, it's Lamija, but I'm a bit scared to see 80 people in such a little town, but I'm also super excited, and it's going to be amazing. But in general, like Ethno Global, I'm most excited to see this Ethno Committee going to a really new place of trying to find the best solutions for this program to go ahead, to go further from where we are, and to unite together and to talk about these amazing ideas. In general, I just have a wish that the next year for all of the ethnos is a good year, and that also Ethno Greece starts to get on their feet, because they are trying to organize ethno for many years. I know that everybody listens to this podcast, so I'm just going to try to make this a platform for saying to the Greek government, please, Greek government, give money to Manolis Bountalakis. He really needs it to organize the best ethno ever. Thank you. So yeah, basically, that's sort of it. And an incredible story is about Ethno USA, actually, and these connections that they have been making with Ethno New Zealand and Ethno Sweden, and getting indigenous participants from Sweden and from New Zealand, some Maori people, and also indigenous participants from the USA. So basically, these three ethnos have these cool exchanges of people. And I'm always asking, and I couldn't find the answer on Google, like, what is really, like, let's say, indigenous to the Balkan area, because we are all sort of indigenous to our area. So basically, we can also say we are doing indigenous ethno. Haha. No. This is again a joke. I'm very sorry, dear listeners. You have probably stopped listening by now. Yeah, so everything is excited. Ricardo, it's just life with music, with people, with playing, dancing, and it's super fun.
What's your favorite ethno memory?
Yo, don't do this to me. I didn't know this question was coming.
Surprise.
Maybe my favorite ethno memory was when I was, I haven't visited any ethno, but I was organizing one. Didn't know what to do, so and my friend Gabriel, who was from Strasbourg but now lives in Istanbul and hangs out with these really cool people. They have a band and everything. You should check them out. It's called Seyah. And he came to the ethno actually with his friend Angelika Hadler, and they helped us so much. They were artistic mentors and everything for free, and it was so nice. And my favorite ethno memory at that point was this one jam where all of the kids from Tuzla discovered that this random guy from Strasbourg, which was in this orchestra from 2013, Papyrosen from Strasbourg, knows all of the songs that they are playing now. So just seeing the faces and the joy of like a random French guy coming and knowing your songs, and the kids being like, wow, how does he know this? And it was just a perfect moment. Yeah.
So if people that are listening are convinced I need to join an ethno, or let's say Greek government is like, oh, we need to fund, where can we find more about ethno? And if people want to connect to you personally, where can they find you? If they are allowed to contact you?
Yeah. So, sorry, but I'm chased by the FBI, so I cannot really give my personal information. But let's talk about ethno first. You can visit ethno.world. That's super easy. So ethno.world. Go now. Yeah. Okay. You are there, and you can see on the web page we have everything about ethno, because it's not very easy to define ethno and to talk about it specifically. You can see a lot of videos, a lot of song recordings, along with all of the list of the countries where ethno is held, their dates and everything. You can go to specific countries and learn all about their ethno, see their galleries and everything, and it's amazing. And if you want to apply to ethno, you can also go through the site, and there's probably some links, but you should visit this site called Mubazar, which is an amazing website, and Mubazar is like music bazaar, so there's always something good there, believe me. And even if you're not only going to apply to ethno, there are incredible opportunities for young musicians. Like, for example, this, I don't know when is this coming out, but they can apply for Encore. And it's an amazing project made by the Classical Committee. And basically, just go to Mubazar. So it's Mubazar. And you should really, if you're a musician, if you are interested in music, just go there, and believe me, you will figure out that this is the best site you have ever seen. And of course, like Facebook, Instagram, Ethno World, Ethno Bosnia, yeah, it's just, you will find us everywhere. And like, subscribe and listen to Ricardo's podcast. and for myself, you can find me on Instagram. It's Lamija Sarić. It's a random name from the Balkans, but I have 2 A's in the middle. Yeah, and go to Ethno Bosnia, go to Acousticum. There,
And Herzegovina.
That's funny. But Acousticum, it's a funny also name of our association of this GM Bosnia and Herzegovina. And it's acoustic mind. It means acoustic mind. And for us, it means to not electric acoustic guitar and stuff like this, but it means to stop a little bit, to just breathe in and to figure out that life is a lot more slow than we actually think it is. And if we enjoy these little moments of togetherness, then that is what truly is important. And this is what Acousticum is.
As always, the very last question. What is the power of music?
I mean, everything is the power of music, but the power of music lies in people. That's definitely true. I mean, I think there's not a wrong answer to this, though. You can choose anything, but the power of music, for me, if there wasn't for people, that's why I stopped classical music in the beginning. I mean, I love it now, but if I didn't meet the people, if I wasn't with the people, music would make no sense. And the only reason why we practice music, I mean, I don't know, this is personal, but why I practice music is that I can play better with others and that we can play better together. And please, people, please remember to leave the egos or whatever out the door, because you're going to have so much more fun if you just focus on the person in front of you and the person inside of you. And it's like, stop being any sort of personas, because music sees the personas and the music itself is searching for the individual within. And if you connect yourself to the individual inside of you, then the people will see this and it's going to be awesome. And I promise this, just believe in the people, believe in yourself, and the people will believe in you. And that's when real music is created. And when you're on stage and you don't care whether you die at that moment, because life is perfect with this music, that's where you know you're doing good music.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. If you want more information about JM, or you would like to get involved, visit www.jmi.net. At JMI, we are on a mission to make the world more musical. That's why we created Mubazar, a digital platform that helps us manage all our musical activities across 80 countries worldwide, connecting musicians with opportunities to grow both personally and professionally. If you are a music professional looking for a better way to manage and promote your music activities, check out Mubazar. Created for music organizers, by music organizers, Mubazar allows you to run music competitions, workshops, camps, auditions, masterclasses, awards, events, and much more. Mubazar offers custom application forms, payments for your activities, jury tools, translations, analytics, and more. Mubazar is fast becoming the best place for musicians to find and apply for music opportunities online, and you can sign up today for a free organizer account by going to www.mubazar.com, registering, and then requesting to upgrade to an organizer on the right-hand menu. For more info, don't hesitate to get in touch via support@mubazar.com. It would mean a lot to us if you could give us 1 minute of your time and rate and review the podcast. In case you have any suggestions or would like to be one of our next guests, feel free to reach out to us through the JMI socials.